Well, hey, what's up, you guys? It's Greg, and I just want to show you some things really quick about the UCLA website and the various portals and things that you might be using. So, to start off, to actually get your UCLA ID that you would use for myucla.com, you would go, I just Googled UCLA login profile, and that brought me to this page, which is the UCLA login ID page. And down here where it says getting started is where you can create UCLA login ID right here. And I already have one, obviously, so it won't help me. But let's see. Well, let's just see what happens if I do. Okay, yeah. So it's the My UCLA single sign-on page. So single sign-on is basically the same thing as you'll use to get onto My UCLA. And so I'll just go ahead and log myself in here. Not going to tell you my password though. Oh, I messed up. Okay. So it's one thing you're going to have to set up is with your phone. This is going to be something that you do when you set up your, when you take that step that we were just going over. When you set up your ID, it'll want your phone number. And so you can download an app. It's called Duo Mobile. And with that app, when I push send me a push, it's going to send me a message on my phone, and this is how they do their security verification. So I'll just click a button that says approve, and then, well, it's not supposed to do that. Well, let's just use My UCLA. It's probably because I already have it set up, but it'll log you on, and then you can see your classes. So this is the My UCLA start page for me. These are the classes that I've been in, and they're starting to post grades, so it'll say that. So here's a useful thing about the My UCLA page, and mostly what I use it for. Under classes, you can look up your exam and homework grades. Sometimes they'll be listed here, sometimes they'll be on CCLE. I'll explain what that is in just a second. This is where your final grades are going to be. This is where your official and unofficial transcript are. So if you want to, download a copy of your transcript, you can do that here. The other important thing about My UCLA is this is where you're going to do your enrollments. So enrolling, you go to enrollment appointments, and this is important because everybody's going to be assigned a certain enrollment date and time. So as you can see, they call it an enrollment pass. So for me, let's see, for fall, the that was my enrollment period, was between here and I guess I could have done it all the way up until October. But anyway, so yeah, 3 o'clock on 6/24, I had to be ready to go. Winter, here's what it was there. 11 o'clock p.m. There, that's nice. And this time it was 4:30 on April 14th, or April 14th, February 14th. And so that's something that you're going to want to check as soon as you can. They don't necessarily tell you when your enrollment appointment is going to be like right away. I think that they release that information like a few weeks into the quarter preceding this one, or at some point in the quarter preceding. But so you might go on there and check, and it might not have anything listed yet. You'll just have to go back and check. And let's see. So that's the important thing with enrollment appointments. Let's see, enrollment home. This one, when it's enrollment time, and you can even go in before and you can do like a class planner, which is kind of cool. I think I might already have one set up. Yeah. You can go in and you can plug in classes that you want to take and when you'd want to take them. And then when it's enrollment time, it should all be ready to go. But let's see. I don't want to unenroll myself in something trying to show you how this works, but bear with me if you would please. Um, just want to show you how the search and stuff works. We'll do fall 18. So I never do this whole by area or anything like that. You're just going to slow yourself down. Like when you're in a hurry and you want to enroll in a class, which you don't really need to be in the social work program, but let's just say you are. Because here's when you do need to be in a hurry in the social work program. You're going to want to check and see who's teaching what classes. And if there is a particular class that's being taught by somebody that you really want to have be your professor, other people probably want that person to be their professor too. And if you don't have an early enrollment time, then as soon as your time slot opens up, you're going to want to hop in there while there's still seats. And in that case, you're going to want to be able to navigate all this stuff fast. So I just put SOC for the search, and right there, social welfare pops up. You don't have to put any catalog number or whatever. You just push go. Just say go. And then here you go. So this is what was offered for fall 2018. And for us, we took 210A. Everything was already like preset. You know, there was no question about what you're taking. They said you're gonna take 210A, 211A, 212. We took 214A and 401, which 401 you don't have to enroll in that right away. You actually won't enroll in that until after you've already been assigned a field liaison, and that's stuff that won't happen until field orientation, which is in like September. So don't worry about that. So basically you're going to only be enrolling in 4 classes, and it's probably going to be something like 210A for sure. You'll be in 210A. 211A, you'll be in that. I think you're going to be in 212, which is sort of like it's an interesting class. It's like a group where we talk about basically different intersectional type experiences that group members have had, and it's an intergroup dialogue essentially where we might talk about things related to race or uh, different oppressive forces, and you'll kind of explore your privilege and also the target statuses that you have, and it's an interesting experience. And so that's what that class was about, and I really enjoyed that. Um, and you also, it's a kind of a neat chance to get to know everybody in your cohort a little bit better. Like I grew closer to people because of that class. Anyway, I think that you're all going to be in that one. Don't worry, you don't have to do statistics yet, but I get to do that next quarter. I can't wait. And then this class, I think you're going to be taking that one. Um, we'll see. That's like a policy type class. So anyway, you would click on a class that you want to take, and you would click the little check mark there, and then you would say add to planner. If you're actually enrolling in the class for real, it would then, let me see what it does if I click this. Probably going to say that you've already taken it. Let's see. Yeah, that's not letting me show you an example of what it does. I'll have to do this when I actually enroll in classes. But um, basically a little window will pop up, and you're just going to check whatever boxes are in there, just saying, yes, it'll ask, like, do you understand that you're enrolling in a class right now? You're going to be like, yeah. It's going to say, you know, are you, it's like a little disclaimer thing will pop up kind of. And you just click, yeah, and then push accept, and then it's going to enroll you in the class. And you can change it if you mess up or whatever. Um, but the enrollment appointments thing, you're going to want to keep an eye on it. So, like every once in a while, log into My UCLA, see if your enrollment time is listed or not. You can do that with the enrollment appointments right there. And you can enroll in a class with this find a class and enroll thing like I was showing you. Just push SOC, and then it'll pop up with what you're looking for. Okay, another important thing I want to show you. Let's see. I don't think I ever use this. Oh, study list. I do use that. Study list is just going to show you everything that you enrolled in. So let's say you enroll in, your 4 classes, and you're like, okay, am I really enrolled in those classes? You can click study list, and then it'll show you, here's what you're in. And like for me, for spring, which is what we're going into now, here's what I'm enrolled in. I'm enrolled in these lovely classes, which maybe you all will get to be enrolled in as well. This is also your spring quarter is the first quarter where you actually choose your concentration. You don't technically have one before that. And the way that you signify your concentration is this class that you enroll in. So this is the 242 Resilience, Risk, and Thriving Among Children and Families. That's like the core class if you're child family well-being concentration. And basically by you enrolling in that class, that's you signifying that yeah, that's your concentration. After this quarter, when I go back next year for year two, it's going to be all classes. Well, not all classes, but it's going to be all the classes required for that concentration, and then additional electives that I choose to take. By the way, one kind of cool thing, my not my first quarter, but my second quarter at UCLA, so winter, and I was able to take an extra class. I was able to take a second year class because I had an extra space. Um, and so I got to take a class with a whole bunch of 2019 people, so that was cool. So sometimes the way your schedule lines up, it might be that you're only required to take 3 classes that quarter or something in addition to field. And if you want to take a fourth class, you can. Like there's no restriction, saying that you can't take it. But generally, check in with Tanya, the graduate advisor, about that and make sure it's cool. Check in with the professor, make sure it's cool with them. But yeah, I was able to take it early, and so now I've got free time. Like the reason I took it early, and it happened to be 202B, which is child psychopathology or child and adolescent. By taking that early, that frees up time for me next year when I've got to be working on the capstone. And the capstone is a gigantic project, and I just want as much available time to myself as I can get. And or hey, it frees up time for me to take another class, some other elective or something. So I like for me 4 classes, 4 academic classes. That's like full time, you know. And so it's 4 academic classes and your field. And if it just so happens that your quarter is only requiring you to take 3 academic classes, which Tanya will tell you, they'll say, "Oh, here's what you guys all have to take this quarter," and you decide you want to take a fourth one. Generally, it's no problem. Okay, so that's that. That's what the study list was I was explaining. Let's see. You're going to want to just do default with whatever the grade type is. Don't do anything pass, no pass. If a class is pass, no pass, it'll automatically set it that way. There's a few that are like that. Don't drop a class. God forbid you do that. I think that's kind of it for that one. Let's see, academics. I don't think I've ever used any of those. Oh, my features, study list again. Yeah, you can access your webmail here if you want to try out your email and see if it works. There's mine. Oh, well, looks like I sent an email to my professor asking her to not. Just gonna go ahead and move on from there. Uh-oh, where was I? Oh, here we go. Okay, so that's my features. See, find a class and enroll. It's like redundant, right? It's over here and it's also over here. Finances and jobs. This is all a pretty important section. So with this one, if you want to get your 1098T, you'll have to actually sign up for this right here, which is pretty basic and self-explanatory. Like, um, I won't go through that right now, but you'll need to get signed up with them, and then you can get your tax form. What you're going to really need to focus on with this is going to be your Bruin Bill. Yes, the old Bruin Bill. And so I'm just like, yeah, continue to that bill. Let me see it. Um, and it'll show you how much you've owed or whatever. And it'll be when everything is actually still you owe it. It'll say it right here. So I had to pay $5,236.20 to pay for that. Parking permits may or may not be an issue for you. If it is, you have to apply for parking permits. They don't just give it to you, and you have to have like need, which essentially need is you don't live near campus. So if they can't, if you, they're thinking if you can take a bus that you're going to essentially, or you're going to ride your bike or something. So if you don't live near campus, you should be able to get a permit. If you can't get a permit, it doesn't really matter because we're right next to a giant parking structure that is paid anyway, and it's like $12 a day. If you bought a permit, the amount of money that you're going to save over the course of a quarter is like it's like $20. It was like not a big deal. And you're not. It's not like just because you have a permit, you have like some guaranteed space with your name on it or something. I mean, the parking structures are going to fill up. You have to get there early if you want to have parking not be an issue. But anyway, so that's Bruin Bill. When you actually want to pay something, you would click on it. Um, it'll add up whatever it is, and then obviously I can't show you an example right now because I don't owe any money, but there'll be an option down here to pay. You can connect your bank account to it, and you can do a direct deposit if you want, or you can use your credit card or whatever. It's going to be very similar to probably how it was for undergrad for you. Um, and it's pretty self-explanatory. If you do have any trouble with it, and hey, I'm totally down to help out for a small fee. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm totally down to help out if this gets tricky. Um, First time doing it, it'll probably be a little bit tricky. I'm sure. I mean, I know it was for me the first time I did it. But anyway, so that's the Bruin Bill. Let's see what else is in this part. Disbursement summary is going to go over like if you got any kind of aid, which normally you won't with grad school. You might get if you qualified for financial aid, then they might do a waiver for your professional degree fee, which you still pay it. They just end up paying it back. So, you know, you'll end up like a week into the quarter or something. You'll just get a notification saying that there's been a deposit to your bank account or whatever, and it'll be an extra, let's say $1,400 or $2,500. It's a part of that 6,500 per year that you pay for your degree fee. Um, let's see. You could go Scholarship Home and look up scholarships that might be available, etc. I don't really use any of these. I just use Bruin Bill, and I'll get my tax information for taxes. Campus life, please. I've never used any of these. Um, I don't need. I don't think I've ever needed any. Let's see what's even on here. I mean, I don't know. You can go through it and see if there's something on there that applies to you, but it's not really something I use. Oh, I guess here's one. Parking application. Boom. Let's see what this says. Oh, see. Oh, where do you live? And if you're 15 miles away, even then, why not van pool? Well, maybe because I don't want to ride in a van with a bunch of people every day. How about that? So if they can't talk you into these, parking application right here, and you've got to plead with them that they give you that permit and let you pay them $255 a quarter for that parking permit. Okay, so that's that one. Other student services. Bruin card balance. Okay, I put $20 on my Bruin card. I don't think I've ever used it, but it's there in case I need it. I don't really know what, I would use it for, but you can load up a few bucks on there if you want there. You can use it like if you want to go to the food court and you want to buy some food, you could theoretically use your Bruin card. But it's like, I don't know, well, I might as well use my debit card. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Also, you get the general catalog. That could be useful. Schedule of classes. Useful. Um, okay, I think that's kind of enough of that. Let's see, my features. Yeah, that's kind of it on that one. So that's my UCLA. I'm going to stop this recording now and just say that is my UCLA tutorial. That is basically everything I can think of with that. The next one I'm going to do is going to be about CCLE, which is where you're actually going to have to do stuff. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching, I guess. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, bye.